Matt Lenihan, Boxing Social, in association with Empire Fight Store and Our Kings. Mark, it's been a while. I think my colleague Lewis has been speaking to you more frequently, just purely down to location and shows and stuff. But it's been a while since I've been down to your gym. How have you been keeping? I've seen yourself, your dad's here. All good, all well?
All good, Matt. Thanks very much. Good to see you again. And nearly there now. Not too. Couple of more days before Saturday, and we're happy. Yeah.
I've seen Johnny always seems to be in a good mood, you know, whether he puts it on sometimes or not, but I always think, you know, there's never anything that sort of throws him off, and he's got an interesting fight against Dave Allen.
Yes.
I was speaking to Jamie Moore yesterday, I spoke to a few people, and Jamie said, look, Dave Allen turned up for this camp already kind of fit. It wasn't like what you call maybe a fat camp, and he's been as most responsive as he's been since he's worked with them guys. That must be good for you, knowing that you've got a game opponent coming in, because Johnny's at that stage now where he's progressing all the time and he's putting on some statements.
Yeah, see, listen, Dave will not leave no stone unturned, as they say. He's been around for a while now. He's been, you know, domestically anyway, and he's been around the world, I guess, sparring certain sparring partners and that. So he's very experienced compared to Johnny. And being on the stage it's on, we're very blessed and grateful for the stage we're on. So that is gonna, you know, if that don't motivate anyone, then you know, something wrong with them. So we expect the Dave Allen for sure. Yeah.
I see Johnny Fisher, and he seems to almost thrive under the bigger the occasion, the anticipation, the bigger the crowd. I know this isn't Romford and Essex and somewhere where maybe you'll do 3,000 plus tickets, but it's one of them places where you can get your name up in lights big time. Do you think he's just at home with all that, and he's in his sort of comfort spot, being under all that pressure?
Yeah, listen, since day one when he started, when he had his first professional fight, he sold like thousands of tickets, you know, a couple of thousand tickets, 1,000 tickets easy, you know what I mean? I was worried about him, to the truth, and the pressure back then. But where he's done it from the off, I've seen him get comfortable, embrace, and milk it, so to speak. He feeds off of it. So it's worked out well for an occasion as big as this. Yeah.
He strikes me as someone who seems to have the right temperament, if that's the right word. You see a lot of people, when they get the lights in front of them, they get the attention. He's obviously got his dad, John, who's, you know, he's a figure in himself now, and the whole family as themselves. But it doesn't seem to faze him. He doesn't seem to get carried away. It seems like he's quite humble. Is that the man you see every day?
Yes, he's certainly just what you explained. He's got his feet well firmly on the ground, and he's a lovely human being. Carries himself very well. He's a gentleman, but he's when that bell goes, he's a winner. He's an absolute winner. Yeah.
You've trained with a lot of fighters, a lot of big profiles over the years, achieved a lot as a trainer. When you look at Johnny and sort of his trajectory, is he someone who fits the mould as a potential future world champion? I know you can never say definitely, because boxing's it's a funny old game, especially in the heavyweight division, but do you look at him and go, you know what, in a few years we'll be on that top table fighting for the biggest prizes in the sport?
Yeah, I listen, see how Johnny trains in his work ethic, and how professional he strives to be. You know, makes up for you know, not having that pedigree. But you know, you can work with someone as hungry and as motivated and as disciplined as Johnny, and he will never say no to anything. You know, I mean, as in like training wise, he's hit some pain barriers in the past that he probably don't have to go there again. Only in the real thing, as in the fight.
Yeah.
In a fight, but he's very big-hearted. He's a smart guy, and it's a pleasure to work with him. And trust me, I keep saying it, you're going to be surprised. Everyone's going to be surprised how far this kid's going to go.
What's the biggest sort of change in him you've seen from when he walked through the door at your place to now? Because we talk about boxers with this glittering amateur career, podiums and this, that and the other. We know the background that Johnny's come from, but he's not really put a foot wrong so far. I know you as his trainer will see certain things he needs to improve on, but in terms of his career up to date, he's done what's been asked of him, excelled, made a lot of noise. What's been the biggest difference you've seen in him throughout, from the beginning to now?
Well, he's maturing, as you know, as all young men or women do with experience. But he was a mature guy already, but boxing-wise, he's maturing. He's calm. He's less bullish,
Yeah,
so to speak. So and you have to be more calculated as you move up in levels, and he certainly is. Moving up in levels, and he's calm with it.
Just sort of pivoting away from Johnny for a minute, we forget sometimes the card that's actually been put on is brilliant from top to bottom. I want to talk to you about the main event a little bit. I know you touched on it a few times, but people's opinions have changed as fight weeks approach. I spoke to Johnny Nelson yesterday and he goes, I've changed my mind already. He says he wants to see the two together to get more of a feeling, but he has now switched and says that he really likes Tyson Fury's demeanour, the way he's come into fight week. He's not as jovial as he was for the last one. I know that factually because I was there. It's almost like he's gone back to the recluse, Viking, locked in, not spoke to anyone. Do you get a feeling as a trainer and obviously as a fight fan what you think will happen in this main event?
Yeah, absolutely. Was that Johnny Nelson you said that? Well, as you said that, that's exactly how I've read it myself. I've always, through my loyalty to my home guys, my country, so to speak, I always back my own guys. But then you got to be real. Yeah. And I've always backed Tyson Fury. I backed him in the first one. He almost was there. And I've said before in interviews, there was a couple of adjustments, not much, that he needed to make to get this win. Yeah. And I was hoping and trusting, because he's such an experienced professional, Tyson, so is Oleksandr, but he can make them adjustments, and I know he will make them adjustments. But what you just said that Johnny Nelson has noticed, I've noticed it myself as well, and so it's not, I weren't only hoping for the best, now I've seen what I'm seeing, it's given me even more confidence. So yeah, well observed, Johnny Nelson.
Do you know, can I ask you, just from outside looking in, when Tyson alludes to the fact he doesn't need to make wholesale changes, people forget, because he lost and he had the moment where he got caught, you forget a lot of parts of the fights he was having success. I know there was the showboating and the taunt, and he's done that in Klitschko in Wilder fights. Do you look at that and say, there's 2 points for me, I know my opinion's not worth much, but I just want to ask you as the trainer, because it'd be interesting. He caught Usyk twice, the second one with almost like a leaping uppercut, and it rocked Usyk back. And there's moments there where there's almost seconds of space in between them shots where nothing happens. Yeah. And I think, I'm not saying jump on him, but you know when the rounds are close, you look and go,
he's got to close them gaps from the opportunities he makes, and he will be on it. But I think he will see. If you fight Usyk's fight as in standoff and try and match him for boxability, and he's light and he's fast and he's superior boxer, you know, it's going to be hard. But I think Tyson should, even if he's got to make it a little ugly, is be a little bit manhandly. Yeah. Manhandly. Always behind the front hand, of course, but a bit manhandly. Make it a bit ugly to spoil any prettiness that Usyk brings, and you know, and they both know what they've both got to do. It's just doing it, and Tyson's got the size, the imposing size. He's got the weight. Even if he is a fraction slower, don't try and match him for speed. Take away that speed by giving him heavy artillery continuously behind that front hand, and make it a little bit ugly at times. What do you mean by make it ugly? You've got to get him off balance. You've got to knock him off balance. You've got the weight, you've got the size, you've got the leverage, you know. Dip that chin and medium a long range, and you know what I mean. And when he gets short, he's got to manhandle him a little bit.
Last one from me. There's a fight that got made. I'm not sure we spoke about on our channel. Daniel Dubois, Joseph Parker. For me, I think this is a great fight. Joseph Parker's coming off 2 back-to-back victories against Wilder, where it was a complete shutout, and people were writing him off before that fight. Say what you want about Wilder, he's still dangerous for 12 rounds, and he had to go to the well against Zhang, because I think for 5 or 6 rounds we've seen against Joe Joyce, he's a bloody dangerous man. Any heavyweight is, but he seemingly thrives first half. He's come through that, and he's now gotten his opportunity against a guy who's had his criticism and being called every name under the sun, with his heart being questioned, and he's rolled out. He's beaten Hrgovic when the odds were stacked against him, allegedly on the bookies. He rolls up against Joshua and does, and this is all due respect, it was a demolition job.
Yes.
So, what do you make of this fight? Because I think this is actually a brilliant fight, and it's weird that it's a co-main to Bivol Beterbiev, but wow.
Well, listen, I don't think it's a brilliant fight. It's an amazing fight, and I just can't pick one. I can't pick a winner.
It means it's a good fight.
It means it's a good fight because, but Joseph Parker, what he did with what's his name? Wilder was what he had to do. We didn't know if he could do it. Absolutely threw the kitchen sink at him. But that's how you take away, little guys, but with big bit of power away. You got to spoil them. You know what I mean? And so push them on their heels. They can't fight. No one can. It's difficult to. But anyway, that was a great performance. And Zhang, blimey, I never thought he'd get through the Zhang fight because of difficult, big imposing southpaw. So Joseph Parker's got all them minerals. He's intelligent too. He's got all them minerals against being really the underdog in them 2 fights. So, and Daniel Dubois has certainly turned a couple of corners mentally as well.
Yeah.
So intriguing fight, and I can't wait for that. He's a superior and hard puncher, Dubois, fast, hard puncher, straight shooter, and I can't pick it. I can't pick a winner. I like Joseph Parker, and I know Daniel pretty well, in and around the gym. So it's difficult to me to pick. I have to back Daniel Dubois, being one of my home boys, British guy. But what a fight! What a fight!
Do you know what? I can't wait to see it. That card, that February card. We're talking about that all day. But look, appreciate you giving us some of this time. I know there's other people who want to speak to you, and we'll catch up soon. It's been a pleasure.
Pleasure, mate. Good to see you, son.
Thank you.